Good afternoon. We're now joined by the Warner Royals. To our left, we have Sun Conference Player of the Year, Cynthia Holmes. To our middle, head coach Tim Mims. And to our right, quarterback Madison Tingen. We'll start things off with opening comments from Coach Mims, and then we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, thank you. It's a battle. We knew we were going to come into it and battle the dominant flag football in this country that played in the Sun Conference. It's hands down. It's like the SEC of the Sun Conference, the flag football world. So we know what we're getting into when we play, and Thomas is a tough opponent. Chelsea, pioneer in this sport. She's done it as a player, as a high school coach, and now as a college coach, and there's nobody better out there. She's going to adjust, she's going to prepare, she's going to get her kids motivated, and we knew that's what we had to come in and fight. And I'm proud of my team, I'm proud of what we did. I'm proud of where we've come from August to now, and we're, our motto is we're going to turn the page and move on and turn the page and get to that national championship tournament and see what we can do.
That was one of the first questions I was going to ask is, as we kind of get to the game, something we were talking about on the broadcast was with the way everything's been set up, the Sun Conference is more or less a preview of what's going to be expected with Atlanta. So, from a coach's perspective, how do you guys feel that you fare out at this point in time heading into Atlanta in the next couple of weeks?
We're still figuring some things out as a team, but I'm going to take our chances, and I'm going to pick our team over anybody. They've been tested. We've been through some things this year. We've lost in the last second. We've given up some leads. We fought back. And I think we're just kind of climbing that mountain and poised to make a run in Atlanta and really show the world and the country that we were kind of snickered about at the beginning of the year, and we want to make sure that nobody's snickering about Warner University.
Next question is for Cynthia. You had just a tremendous game out there today, and even like last week against Thomas as well. But talk a little bit from a player's perspective, just to know what does it feel like to be one of those offensive workhorses. Now, it is a team effort, of course, but in knowing that the team is relying on you to make that call to be a part of that team effort, talk a little bit from your perspective how that's been like.
It is a lot of pressure, especially considering they are a good defense and they are keying in on me. But, you just got to get past that and just do what you can and fight through it.
And this following question can be answered by anybody, but this is the second time now where you guys have an opening start and you come away with an opening drive touchdown, and it's been back and forth. But from a mentality at any point, is it one of those things that from a perspective it's always about trying to move forward? Is it one of those mentality pieces where it's like you come through, but then knowing that the end result's not a win, is it one of those things where it's an adversity piece, or does it look at more as a learning opportunity?
Yeah, we take everything as learning opportunities. We prepare, and you get in games, and sometimes you prepare for things, and things don't go the way you prepared for. So you have to make adjustments. You have to do some things on the fly, and some things that you might not have planned for. But the resilience of the team is one that we're going to do it. We're going to do what we can do, and from a bigger perspective and what we're trying to win, which is the national tournament, we've poised ourselves, and I guarantee nobody's raising their hand to play us in the first round or the second round, or say, hey, Warner's a cupcake, let's move on. And that's what we're trying to make our name for ourselves. And the same that Thomas has done a fantastic job this year, coming in, as their first year and what they're doing. We kind of, as my first year as a head coach, I came in and I'm such good friends with Coach Palmer, and we've talked about some of this stuff for over a year. And, your team rises, and we've risen to the expectation. And, it's easy as a coach when you have great players like this. You've got a strong arm quarterback that I've known about since she was in 8th grade. We talked about it in the high school world. And when I got the job, she was the first kid I called. I lucked into Cynthia, and she's the best player in the country, and I don't care what anybody says. There's nobody in Kansas, there's nobody in Florida, because everybody knows that it's going to Cynthia. And we still find ways to create opportunities for Cynthia. Madison puts the ball where it needs to be. And like I told the team, it's a team effort. Cynthia's awards are won, individually, but it's really a team award. you know, and that's what we try to do. We try to really focus on the family we've built at Warner, and we're proud of what we've done so far, and we're not done. I mean, we're not laying down.
Next question is for Madison. From a quarterback perspective, you know, you've played so many teams that rusher capability, you kind of have to see yourself set up. But heading into today's contest, and again, when you're going against the fast rusher, you know, from a mentality standpoint, what are the features that you have to work on in order to know, like, when to dump it off quick or when to have some extra time in the pocket?
It's all about my feet. I gotta get my feet right, all about my timing. And me personally, as a quarterback, I try not to focus on the rusher because then it'll get in your head. If you just focus on your read, you have reads, you go through the routes, go through the plays, and then the dump's the last option. So if you worry about the rusher, then you're not. It'll get in your head. So you just have to focus on what you gotta focus on.
Tim, take us back through the second half where you guys had that 4th down opportunity, and I believe it looked like it might have been a situation where you guys decided to go for it in terms of trying to go and potentially go up by 2 scores. But take us through that thought process in terms of what was going on at the time and what led to that decision to try to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, on the sideline, we thought we saw a matchup we liked and that we could take advantage of it. I, in all of my coaching life, have never been afraid to go for it. I mean, we're known in the high school world, and now what we're carrying over at Warner, to have a high-powered offense. Chelsea's known for her high-powered defense and the defense that'll stop. Sometimes you got to win with what got you there, and what got us here is our high-powered offense. And we felt like we had a matchup, we could make a play, march down. Our whole idea was if we could score coming out of the half, you know, once we got the ball and we got the stop, that we'd really put the pressure on Thomas and maybe make them come from behind a little more than they're used to. So that was kind of the thought process. We're not going to shy away from going for it on 4th down. If we think we've got a matchup, we're going to go for it and see what happens. And then, you know, we didn't execute. Plays like that happen, and you got to kind of flip the page and move on.
What would be one takeaway from today's semifinal match? And I know we were talking a little bit about what to prepare for in Atlanta, but specifically from this game, knowing that you play one of the top teams in the country, you know, what's one takeaway from today's game you're looking to try to implement heading into Atlanta? Yeah,
I mean, I think as the season has progressed, you see teams, Chelsea mentioned it, being multiple. Like, you have to decide, this is what I'm going to do, but I have to do other things. So you're seeing teams rotate defenses, change defenses. You're seeing offenses have to counter that. So going into the national title, you know, tournament, you're looking at teams that are going to be prepared. We've played each other, we've bloodied each other for an entire conference season, so we know each other. And going into that tournament, it's going to be who makes some adjustments and then who executes. You know, we've got a long saying in my coaching past: extra points matter, and an extra point mattered today. And I will always say it, those extra points matter. We didn't get one today, and we needed one.
We're good. Thank you, guys.
God bless the world. God bless.
Thanks, guys.